And
But I think,
speaking of seeing some folk,
uh-oh.
speaking of seeing some folk, the 2026 schedule has been released, and there's some names and some people we gonna have to see.
Listen, bro. I'm low-key mad we ain't got Wake Forest this year.
Yeah, because then we have to see Geo again.
I would have wanted that get back, bro. I would have wanted
Yeah,
that
we
get
got
back.
them next year if he don't transfer again. Listen, we are so cooked in 26. Listen, a.
Oh, speaking of, before we get to this, because I feel like this is gonna give you more energy and animosity for the schedule. Do you know Notre Dame's schedule has 8 teams that had 8 losses this past year?
Oh, who's surprised?
It's Notre Dame's.
We might go 7-5. I
I'm
mean,
saying that
that's good. But
that's the bar we set.
Willie Parker played for Clinton, North Carolina. They lost to the Reedsville playoffs.
Oh.
Heartbreak. Unbelievable. It's totally believable that Notre Dame has several 8-loss teams on their schedule. That's not surprising to me at all.
It is to me. Well,
Is
actually,
it though?
no.
I'm about to say it shouldn't be. So starting off, we got TCU again. Got to run that back, and this is the one in Ireland, if I remember right. Then we got East Tennessee State, Clemson, bye week, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, Duke, Syracuse, Miami, UConn, Louisville, Virginia, and North Carolina State. Always, because I don't know if you saw that video. So Slav, did you see the video with Cam Newton talking about that Notre Dame ain't done nothing in years? And I felt so validated. Notre Dame ain't been a good program for real in years. Sure, you made the playoff last year, but you made the playoff playing against one of the worst Georgia teams in the last 5 years, at least offensively. Heck, really just in general.
You said who?
Then, he's talking about Notre Dame catchfish their records. Of course.
I mean,
This
yeah.
schedule is tough. He said, yeah, it's exactly like, bro, Notre Dame ain't worth nothing. You get these top 10 schedules playing a bunch of major loss teams or midway teams. You don't play nobody worth talking about. And when you do, you end up either losing or it's a real tough game that you barely get by on. Or you're facing like if you face a top 10, 15 team, is normally 15. Is normally number 10. You're not facing a number 1. You're not facing a number 2. You're not facing number 5 on a regular basis. Once
Yep.
we could go in and pull the Notre Dame method. Shoot, I bet every institution could wish they could.
Yep. Notre Dame plays 8 teams that lost 8 or more games in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And those teams are Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue. Here's the sad part. We're included on that list, just so you know.
I mean, yeah, because they're on our schedule.
Yep. So we're included on that list. But yeah, Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, us, then Boston College, Syracuse, and Stanford. Their only games of teams of good teams. You had BYU who went 12-2, SMU who went 9-4, Miami who went 13-3, and Navy who went 11-2. Those are the only teams they play with winning records.
I don't even see them on the schedule. For ESPN, I don't even see Navy on the schedule.
This is their 2025. Plays 8 teams that lost 8 games.
They're playing the worst ACC teams. BYU lost their head coach, by the way. No, they didn't. They kept his. They kept him. BYU kept their head coach. Because they thought he was going to leave, but he decided to stay. So, no, BYU kept their head coach. They're fine.
Who are you looking for? Whose schedule are you looking at?
So, looking at Notre Dame's 2026 schedule, they play Wisconsin, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Stanford, BYU, Miami, Boston College, SMU, and Syracuse.
And Rice.
I don't even see Rice on here.
They play Rice on the 12th.
Okay, so yeah, this might be missing a couple of games then. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it's missing 2 games off here. So yeah, Navy and Rice probably aren't on there.
Yep.
But yeah, BYU retained their head coach, so they're gonna be all right.
Oh, sweet
Right,
Jesus!
Rice. Like, what are you doing?
He said Rice. Rice?
Clown show.
Bruh.
Sunbelt? Come on, man.
No, said Rice? That's who we playing? That's who they playing?
Because the best teams that they're going to play next year is Miami, BYU, and SMU. Are the best 3 teams they're playing next year. They're going to be playing against nerd military folk. And Syracuse. I'll give them Syracuse.
Syracuse was bad this year.
Syracuse was bad this year because their starting quarterbacks and backup quarterback got hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, they were playing 2 freshmen the whole back half of the season. Because the quarterbacks that when we played them, both freshmen.
All right, Syracuse. I wasn't familiar with your game. I apologize for my outburst.
Because their starting quarterback got hurt against Clemson, and he got knocked out for the season with I think it was a torn ACL. Then the backup quarterback got hurt because he was just bad.
I got to come back to this. No. I got to come back to this. I got to come back to this statement. First of all, sir, we all a nerd about something. And what's wrong with the military folk? Joel, I had to come back to this comment. He said they might be playing nerds and military folk. Like, wait a minute, sir. Like, what's the issue?
Check this out. And Wisconsin had a harder schedule than Notre Dame did last season.
Of course they did. It's Wisconsin. They play in the Big Ten.
Check this out. So you want to know who they played?
I know that out of conference schedule was actually tough.
So Wisconsin overall, they played 19 Alabama, 20 Michigan, number 1 Ohio State, number 6 Oregon, number 23 Washington, number 2 Indiana, and number 21 Illinois. They played 7 ranked teams.
That's just a Big Ten, and only one of those is out of conference.
And they went 4-8 because they only beat Miami, Ohio, Middle Tennessee. They beat Washington, and they beat Illinois.
Shout out to that win over Washington.
Shout out to the win over Illinois too.
Nah.
Now they barely beat Washington. They beat Washington 13-10, but they beat Illinois 27-10.
That was a snow game, I bet.
Probably. Then proceeded to lose to Minnesota at the end of the season.
If Notre Dame lose one game, they shouldn't be in the playoff. Oh, speaking of that, boy.
Yeah, it's Michigan State did.
So I don't know why I forgot to include this, but one of the new rules for the CFP, bro. Hold up, because I remember.
Because I did say they were going to keep it to a 12 team playoff.
Yeah. So one of the new rules that Notre Dame gets, y'all. Notre Dame is guaranteed a spot in the CFP if they finish ranked in the top 12 of final selection.
Y'all cried and won y'all way to an automatic spot.
Yes.
Cried and whined their way to an immediate spot. And tell you, we talked about that right before the CFP started. We talked about it when they opted out of their playoff game that they were going to have there was like some contingency thing in their contract that allowed them for the next I think it's like the next 2 or 3 years. They now have an automatic berth in the CFP.
That's stupid because one, let's just throw out the hypothetical, right?
I think it's for the next 3 seasons, if I remember correct.
Check this out. Throw out this hypothetical. You know the other team that's in that independent bracket with them?
UConn.
Boom. If UConn, and I don't anticipate them, but let's throw out the hypothetical. If UConn football just goes on a tear for some reason next year and finishes in the top 12, Do you mean to tell me let's say both
Notre
Notre
Dame's gonna get
Dame,
the spot over them?
yeah, you mean to tell me Notre Dame gets that spot over UConn? Even if UConn finishes better but doesn't win their conference? Like, you can't do that. You can't, we're not guaranteeing. I'm
Man, the fact
cool
that you
with
guaranteed them a
guaranteeing.
spot is wild.
I'm cool with guaranteeing a group of 5 team, 2 group of 5s getting in. And even though everybody was like, oh, the group of 5 was bad, Tulane and who's the other group of 5? Who's the other team this year? James Madison. They're like,
James
even though
Madison.
Tulane and James Madison didn't have no business being here. Listen, I'm cool with a group of 5 coming in because that's how you get the Fiesta Bowl moments and things like that. Like the really cool, hey, yo, they can compete type of moments. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But guaranteeing that this one specific team gets a spot if the committee just likes them enough to keep them ranked in the top 12, even if they played bad. So that means Notre Dame, if they somehow have a 9-4 season, if the committee feels, oh, yeah, they're 9-4, but they lost only because of extenuating circumstances, they didn't really lose. We're gonna keep them in the top 12. You're gonna have a 9-4 Notre Dame in over like a 12-win team. I'm cool if you guarantee like a SEC, ACC, Big 12, and Big 10 champ get in. I'm cool with that because that could be any team. I'm cool with 2 group of 5s getting in because that can be any team. Telling me that Notre Dame themselves, only this team gets in if they're finished in the top 12 is stupid and biased. Like, I don't like that, bro. I don't like that.
It's like new agreement with the CFP officially acknowledged earlier this morning. Finishing the top 12 next year, they will automatically be guaranteed a spot in the CFP. That means the arrangement existed this year. That means had the arrangement existed this year, Notre Dame would have jumped Miami despite the committee saying we think Miami should be ahead of Notre Dame on the selection Sunday. It's one of the dumbest things I've seen with CFP structure, and it's totally ridiculous. Also, the committee can't just totally avoid this. If Notre Dame is a borderline playoff team again, instead of putting them at 11 and having them use their new agreement to immediately just jump to the 10 seed, rendering the committee's own ranking of the number 10 team above Notre Dame meaningless, if the committee's going to leave them out, why wouldn't they just put Notre Dame at 13? Notre Dame better hope they don't have to pull this card if they're ranked 12th on Selection Sunday next year, or they'll be the most mock team in NFL and CFB. They should be now. You should be the most mock team in college football. Bump the playoff.
Because I'm sorry. Let's be real and keep it a buck.
NCAA is a joke. It 100% is at this point.
Let's be real and keep it a buck. Miami put up a way better fight against Indiana than Notre Dame did against Ohio State last year.
Absolutely.
Miami proved why they were the team that was picked by the ACC. And here's the bad part. Miami as a 10 seed had to run the gauntlet to get to the national title. And they did. They just lost to the best team.
Even Stephen A said this is sick. Stephen A said this is sickening. Bump Notre Dame, get your ass in the conference and compete like everybody else. I'm going to keep saying it till I'm blue and black in the face. Get into a conference. Stop playing this game that you playing with everybody else, and stop playing in our face, bro. Stop feeling like you special. You not special. You haven't been special since 1976. I don't know why you think that you continue to think that, oh, we're Notre Dame, we get special treatment. Get out of here. Sick of you.
Just go ahead.
You ain't been important you ain't been important to college football since 1998.
Bro, just go
Last time anybody cared about Notre Dame football for real was Manti Te'o years, and that was because he had a fake girlfriend that everybody wanted to see him win for. Outside of that, nobody has cared what Notre Dame does because Notre Dame ain't done nothing worth talking about. Sure, you got into the CFP, but for how? But for what? With what competition? Sure, you made it to the college football. You made it to the championship last year and got dog walked. You didn't play anybody for real last year. You ain't playing for anybody for real the year before. You don't play anybody for real, period. That's why you don't end up in the championship every year, because when you get to the playoffs, you get embarrassed every time you get there. Stop acting like you this great team when you're not. You play scrubs every year because you handpick these scrubs so you can get an easy path to the playoff, just to get knocked out first and second round because you deserve to get knocked out every time. Then you come in here with this soft ass shit. Excuse my language, but you come here with this soft ass shit talking about, oh, we need an immediate spot. For what? Prove you need to be there. Your own coach even said it yourself. We need to make sure there is without a doubt next year that you make the playoff. But guess what? You now play 8 out of 12 teams with more than 8 losses or more. Boston College lost 10 games last year. The only team that you played with a legitimate strong schedule from last season is Wisconsin. They played 7 ranked teams last year, 2 of which they beat. And you gonna sit here and act like y'all this great team? You not. You got good players. Don't get me wrong. Sure, you have a great history of sending players to the NFL who tend to have general success. But what do you do? What have you done? What are you continuing to do besides annoy us?
I'm gonna say this. One,
and no offense to the Notre Dame fans out there, I appreciate you having your support for your team, but your team is dog water.
I'm gonna say this, bro, because you know me, and I on this channel was always the devil's advocate for Notre Dame. You and I would agree with that, right? I was always the one kind of giving devil's advocate for Notre Dame. This officially puts me on your bandwagon. This officially puts me in your bandwagon because I'm not agreeing to this, bro. If you can't guarantee this stipulation for other independents or Ivy Leagues or anybody else, you don't need to do it. And the simple fact of the matter that the ACC is sitting right there. You're playing about 5, 6, 7 teams from the ACC. You're involved in the ACC's new revamped and rescheduling. And not only that, 23 of the other 24 sports at your school are in the ACC. So, Notre Dame, whatever you want to be, how about you get off your butt, go ahead, and as my colleague says, join a conference. You can join the ACC. You know what? You want to prove something? Go join the Big Ten, since apparently you're too good to be in the ACC. Join the SEC, why don't you? How about you do that? Join the Big 12. Join a conference in the Power 4. Run the gauntlet. Win a conference championship. Then get your spot in the CFP the way everybody else does. Because guess what? Had they done what they're going to do this year, to where every conference champion automatically gets in regardless of their rank, I would have at least respected the fact that Duke got in the CFP, because you know what Duke did? Duke went and won the ACC championship, and they had to beat a better team to do it. Duke won the ACC title game, and I would have been more cool with them going to the CFP over you if we're going by these rules.
And check this out. Sports Illustrated trying to make the argument that, oh, the rule doesn't have any power at all because the committee can just rank Notre Dame outside of the top 12. One, we all know good and well that they're not going to rank Notre Dame outside of the top 12 because it's Notre Dame.
Notre Dame brings in too much money. They got too many TV deals. It's the same thing that we said with Bama for years, and why Bama used to always get put in the CFP when they first started it. It's like, if Bama's close, Bama's going to get in unless they just look bad. If Ohio State is close, Ohio State's going to get in. You want to know why? Say it with me now. Brand recognition. The brand sells. If Southern Cal, who I can't stand in preseason every year, because for some reason, ever since the 2000s, for some odd reason, the Trojans always get ranked in the top 25, and they're out of the top 25 by week 4. I don't understand it. It pisses me off every year, and I keep sitting here looking, why do y'all keep ranking the Trojans in the top 25? The way you feel, Joel, the way you feel about Notre Dame and how they get in the CFP, is the way I feel about the USC Trojans getting ranked at the beginning of a season, being a top 25 team. I'm like, they've done nothing since Reggie Bush left. Not a dang thing. But why do we keep ranking them in the top 25 like they're a good team?
I mean, it's just like I look at it like this now. The CFP is basically a popularity contest like the Pro Bowl is. Because once again, like me and you talked about, Shedeur Sanders shouldn't be an NFL Pro Bowler.
I love Shedeur, but that's a whole popularity contest the way he got in.
Because somebody pointed out, because they put up a stat, they put up a Trevor Lawrence and a Shedeur Sanders stat.
10 touchdowns, 2,300 yards. To Trevor Lawrence is like 38, 15, and 4,000. Guess who's a Pro Bowler?
Guess who's a Pro Bowler? So you telling me Trevor Lawrence didn't make the Pro Bowl over Shedeur Sanders? But once again, we've talked about this for years now. We remember when the Pro Bowl was a thing, where there was a reason you made the Pro Bowl. It wasn't because it was a popularity contest. You were popular because you were good.
You were
popular because you deserved
the
best
players at your position, and that's why I used to love the fact that they played the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl, because the best players got to go to the Pro Bowl. You wasn't getting in just because. The only reason you got in as a reserve is because somebody was injured and couldn't go. Not because, they're playing in the Super Bowl, so they're unavailable.
No, they just couldn't. They got hurt in the Super Bowl, so now they can't play. Would UNC ever be a powerhouse in football?
They could.
I mean, they have the potential. I don't know if they'll be a powerhouse. No. I think they'll be a competitor.
Not anybody has.
I think they can be very competitive.
Not anybody has the potential to be a powerhouse, because all it takes is that one. Now, okay, I'll say this. Cobb, define powerhouse. Are you talking like 40 years down? Like they are dominant for like a brand recognition standpoint, like a Bama, like define that, or are you just saying they have one like 10-year span where they're great? Because
are they a dominant force? Are they a dominant force in their conference for the next 10, 15 years kind of situation, or are we just dominant for the next like 5?
Yes.
We just good for the couple of years that, like, let's say Bill turns it around and we're just good for the couple of years Bill is here, and then whenever he retires it goes back to mediocrity.
If it's 15 to 20 plus, it's going to take some time. It's possible, but it's going to take some time.
It's always possible.
If you're gonna take a 5-year stint, I think that's actually more like, I would consider a powerhouse if you've been dominant for like a 5-year stint. Dynasty 20 years, like 20, 25 years, you're gonna have to have the right coach to do it. Is Bill that guy? No. And the reason being is I'm throwing his age into that.
I'm about to say, I think he's just getting too up in the age for that to happen.
I'm throwing his age into that.
I think the reason why I don't think that North Carolina is going to be a football powerhouse isn't because we don't have the potential. We definitely have the potential. We can get the coaching. We can do all of that. I just don't think there's going to be enough continued investment in the football side of things that's going to keep that up. That's where my thing is. I think after a while, depending on, this could even be a thing. I think he's setting up for his son. I don't think that's a good choice. I don't think that's a good idea.
I wouldn't want that. I'll say this: in order for UNC to become a football powerhouse, another sport has to suffer. And if there was a sport that would have to suffer, that would have the money to do it, it'd probably be baseball. You're not going to sacrifice UNC basketball. Baseball is the next best thing for UNC outside of lacrosse and things of that nature. And so women's lacrosse has been dominant. You're not taking that away. Because
like I said, I don't think there's going to just going to be enough continued investment. Lots of teams we play this year worse than when we played them last year. Clemson, Duke, TCU, State won't be as good. Lost a lot more than they got. UConn worse 2 cents more left, and the team gone. I mean, true. So we have a better opportunity to have a winning season this year than we did last year for sure.
Yeah, but I'll say UNC, in order to be that dominant, they have to essentially sacrifice another sport. like one of the other sports has to go into a major lull, and that money and that funding has to go because, for example, right, Alabama.
B-ball is hurting. Exactly. Basketball is hurting now. And that's
That's
another thing.
what.
That's a coaching thing.
Honestly, basketball is hurting because of the standard we've set for basketball. Like, let's keep it honest. We have a high standard. We are a blue blood when it comes to basketball. Like 30-4, 26-5 records, that's our standard for college basketball. So when we're 17-10, when we're in that realm, we're like, yo, what is this? This ain't it. This ain't it. Whereas a lot of schools, a la, let's say Alabama, flipping, you gotta have those schools, Auburn or whatever the case may be. Yeah, they'll have a good season here and there, but their standard isn't 30 wins in a year.
You're not expecting
26 wins in basketball.
That's expecting high standard from their basketball programs because they're football schools. But like now, us, Kentucky, UConn, Gonzaga, stuff like that, there's high expectation.
Even Villanova right now.
Yeah, Chancellor announced he's going to be on the college football board. That gives me a feeling that dudes might finally be serious with the 3 to 4 year run with Bill. I don't know why you weren't serious to begin with.
I miss
Dean Smith. True.
Dean was a GOAT.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things because it's like even Villanova football, don't nobody care about. Villanova basketball,
everybody on it.
Them boys is nice. And Alabama right now, Alabama football has taken a step back over the last 5 years or so since Saban left, right? But like Alabama football has taken a step back. But Alabama basketball over the last 5 years has gotten better.
Has steadily improved. Heck, even Florida basketball, because nobody expected Florida basketball to win a national championship last year. I sure as hell didn't. Yeah, Florida won last year.
Dang, did they win last year? Bro, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, Florida won. They fell behind the times. Now they're getting lockered on both sides. They think they realize the NIL game is different.
Right. Oh yeah, they played Houston. I thought Houston was going to win that game because Houston has a great basketball program.
Yeah,
Houston's had a great basketball program. That's why I thought Houston was going to win because Florida, yeah, they solid, but we ain't looked at Florida like that since the Joakim Noah days.
So yeah, so even with us, like it's just like you asked, Kyle, but even with us, we have the potential to usurp expectations, but it also comes down to what kind of investment the team is getting, what the coaching looking like, all of that. Because just like you pointed out with Indiana football has been irrelevant for decades.
But Indiana basketball
has been a thing. And then all it took was the right coach bringing the right staff and the right kind of attitude, and it just flipped everything around. And like Tiger pointed out, I think what happened with last season, especially with the football team, Bill and Lombardi didn't come in with the right attitude. They didn't come in with the right thought process of they thought, okay, this is like the NFL. We're just gonna run it like the NFL, and realize that's not how this works. This is still college football. Despite the fact that, yeah, you get the NILs, you have the contract deals and all that, and you talking money, you still got to run this like it's college. You can't just go in just strong-arming these kids out of stuff. They don't care. There's no sense of, I'm doing this to feed my family. I'm doing this to do that. No, I'm getting this just to get the money. And if you ain't talking to be nice, I'm going to go somebody that's going to give me the money. Especially when you got your parents in your ear talking. Yeah, it's not going to work, bro. It's not going to work. Used to came out of nowhere, man. Since the 85th Phi Slamma Jamma days with Hakeem, they woke up after being dead for 30 plus years and dummying UNC football. Exactly, facts. Yeah, I feel like it needs to be a cap on the transport. Absolutely, 100%, 100%, 100%. There 100% needs to be a cap. There needs to be a cap on transfer portal and NIL because, what was his name? I can't remember what the coach's name was. But yeah, there needs to be a limit on how many times these kids can transfer. There needs to be a limit on how much they can get paid at a time, because with them not being capped on how often they can transfer, has been causing all of these issues that we got now for sure, especially with the recent one with Darian Mensah.